Alrighty, everybody, let's go ahead and get started. So I want to welcome you all to the third episode of our 6-part webinar series called TGIF, or thank goodness it's Fortinet. We're going to host a new topic on all things Fortinet every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a new series for us that we're very excited to bring to you guys. So we welcome any and all feedback at the end of the session. I'm going to post another poll, almost like an exit poll, just kind of get your general feelings about the session, and so we can get better every time we have these. Also, I'm going to post my information in the chat so you can capture that. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can reach out to me directly. I do have this session on record right now, so we will be also, we can send you a link to this recording. Unfortunately, the previous sessions were not recorded, so I apologize, but this is actually going to be a 6-part series on rotation. So once we complete the 6th episode, we're going to start it all over again. I'll make sure everybody gets the invites to that as well. So to get started, if there are any follow-up items to today's episode or any questions that we weren't able to immediately answer, I'll also be following up with an email to include information once we've gathered it, just in case. So just to briefly introduce myself, my name is Dana Mead. I'm part of the new exclusive networks team here in Miami. My focus is specifically business development in the SMB space. Just want to cover a few quick housekeeping items before we get started. Just take a moment to check your microphone. If you're not currently muted, please take a moment to do so. That way we'll avoid any distracting background noises if possible. If you don't have that ability yet, I just haven't been able to give you mute and unmute permissions. So give me a moment and I'll make sure to hit everybody up. We want this discussion to be as interactive as possible. Please feel comfortable to unmute yourself and jump in with a question or comment. And or if you prefer to just raise your hand or pop up in the chat, Christian and I will be helping to answer questions and field those as we go through. So whatever you prefer to use is just fine. So hopefully everyone had a chance to take part in our entry poll. Give me one moment. I'm going to actually post this for everybody to see the results. Looks like we got a pretty good distribution of length of Fortinet partners. Very interesting. Most of you are fairly new or have been with the Fortinet doing business at least for a couple of years at least. Good spreading authorized silver, gold, and platinum. Very cool. Looks like most of you heard about us through email as well, so that's good. I hope you liked our little trivia question, and I'm actually going to let David answer that, but I like to say that actually most of you are wrong. So I'll let David let you know what the correct answer is when he gets started. Again, I'll have an exit poll at the end of today's session, so please stick around for just a moment once we finish to take part in that, if you don't mind. So allow me to introduce our presenter today, David Yang. He is our Senior Director of Support and Services. And David's been with Exclusive Networks, formerly known as FineTech, for over 8 years. Before joining Exclusive, joining Exclusive, David, again, is our support and services. He's also held various positions such as application developer, software QA, information technology, and systems engineer. So he brings a lot of knowledge and experience to the table as well. So David, I'll go ahead and pass it over to you and try to let everyone down gently as to the correct answer to that trivia question.
Hi, thank you everybody. And thanks Dana for introduction. Yeah, the question first. So the French fries actually originate from Belgium in First World War I. And the American soldier was there and they tried to taste the French fries very good because the people over there all speaking French. So they named it French fries. Anyway, so hopefully you learned something started already.
Thank you, David.
Now, we're gonna just go right started with today's topic, FortiClient. I'm not sure how many people already had attended our previous 2 sessions, which is the first one is Security Fabric, the second one is SD-WAN. So we're gonna quickly introduce to you who Exclusive Network is. So Exclusive Networks, we are a global value-added distributor. We are probably one of the largest Fortinet distributor in worldwide, and especially in North America. We've been in the business for quite some time, like Dana mentioned. We focus cyber and cloud technology and products. That's our focus. We don't do anything else. And we're 100% channel. So we only work with our partners. We don't work with the end user directly unless the partner introduce us, and then we will only represent our partners. And we also have a very unique specialty is a global deal, we call Global Deal Logistics Center, which we have a warehouse throughout the world, and we all have import, export expertise within our team. We can help you to do any implementation, shipping, deployment everywhere in the world. We have full function support and training services. And again, like Dana mentioned that if you have any questions, please feel free to speak up. My department, my team specializes in support and services. We do pre and post-sale supports. We do migration services, which is you have any competitive products, for instance, any other firewall and any security device you want to move into Fortinet's product line, such as FortiGate. We will help you to do the migration. We'll help you to do more understanding of how it works, where your environment is, and help you to configure to the Fortinet products that you want. And we also offer a jumpstart service, which is you have any customer, you have any different sites, you want to help them to get started right away. We can provide you the configuration, customization services that help you hopefully send the device to each of the location that the end user is, and then they can pretty much plug and play. We also do staging services. This is more like customization of the configurations. If you have some kind of a large quantity of devices, Fortinet devices, you want to configure and send to your warehouse or whatever, then we can help you to do software upgrade, even downgrade, and then put in the special configuration and also special devices that you want to bundle with. We can ship to any location you like. We also have different product and service we can do, help you to do the vulnerability testing. Again, this is in behalf of our partners like you to help the customers. And we also provide NSC certificate training. We have a third-party training facility. They only do training. We can help you to register with them and go through the process. We also provide cloud competency training. Cloud is probably the hottest topic in the world, in the IT technology world. And we provide a cloud competency training ourselves, and we can do either online or on-site. Again, any question, feel free to raise your hand. We have, sorry about this one. So this is a FortiClient introduction. In the beginning, we're going to talk about Security Fabric review, kind of because FortiClient is part of a Security Fabric, Fortinet Security Fabric, and we want to give you a quick overview what Security Fabric is about. And we're going to talk about endpoint protection with the FortiClient, and have FortiClient's telemetry and compliance with the FortiGate. And we have also going to introduce to you the secure remote access, which is like VPN, either IPsec or SSL VPN, and also authentication as part of the FortiClient VPN. At the end, we're going to do just a kind of give you an overview of a FortiClient EMS, and we're going to dive into the demo. The demo is going to be probably 10-15 minutes, and hopefully you will get most out of it. The Fortinet Security Fabric, 2 weeks ago, we talked about this in the TGIF. So again, I want to give you an overview if you haven't heard about it. Fortinet Security Fabric is a broad, integrated, it's automated. It's basically combined, or I should say integrate almost all the Fortinet products all together to help the customer to do the end-to-end protection, detection, and mitigation. And also Fortinet Security Fabric can integrate with third-party softwares, any other vendor software, and provide an API and integration point of view. FortiClient is a part of the Fortinet Security Fabrics. And then you can see this in this diagram, you can see that the FortiClient's endpoint security is part of the end-to-end solution. FortiClients deploy at endpoints. And at this moment, FortiClients is available on pretty much all the endpoint platform that you have, Windows, Mac OS, Android, iOS, and Linux. So FortiClient components, as you can see over here, pretty much all the popular platform that you can see for the FortiClient can be deployed at, right? So FortiClients, they have a security fabric integration. So FortiClient can integrate with FortiGate, Sandbox, Analyzer, Authenticators, which are all the Fortinet product families. And then FortiGuard services is the back engine of all of them. So FortiClients also has a direct connection with the FortiGuard services that provide all those endpoint protection and detection that you need. Now, FortiClients integrate very well with the FortiGate. Later on, we'll see in our demo, we will see the FortiGates, the automation and telemetry part of it to see how FortiClient can integrate with the FortiGate on both sides. And also FortiClient can use not just use the FortiGates local user database and also for authentication, but also you can use FortiAuthenticator to do authentication of the FortiClient to do either single sign-on or VPN. And FortiClient also can send information to the FortiSandbox, and which will do simulation and analysis and send those information to FortiGuard for further protection. So the first layer is the fabric agent. That's what FortiClient has that can integrate with the Fortinet Security Fabric very well. And the second layer we're going to talk about is the remote access. It's a secure remote access, which is the VPN. The VPN part of FortiClient and FortiGate has been ever since the Fortinets exist. So it's a very well integrated and totally industry standards. And it's a very compatible with almost any popular remote access, VPN access in the world for any other products. We have tested for many other devices and also different OS for the VPN access. The last part, which is actually the first thing we're going to talk about, is endpoint protection and also the advanced threat protection. Any questions so far? All right, so the first thing we're going to talk about, which is the top layer of this diagram, the endpoint protection. Later on, we're going to see in the demo, I'll bring up the FortiClient software itself. You will see the configuration. FortiClient actually do many different things. A lot of people may not know. FortiClient has anti-malware, anti-exploit, web filtering, and even including application firewall and also sandbox integration. The one thing I want to particularly point out is a CPRL. CPRL is a Fortinet patent technology, and it's called Compact Pattern Recognition Language. As we all know, a lot of them, and it's a traditional antivirus software at endpoints or signature based. So CPRL is very toward the heuristic or behavior analysis type of detection. And then, so what it does is to help, and also very fast, to help to complement the signature base, which is sometimes could be very slow. So CPRL is a Fortinet patent technology that help to prevent more advanced threat onto the endpoints. And so Fortinet has the built-in CPRL, and this built-in CPRL has worked very well with the FortiGate altogether. Any questions so far? No, I'm going to move on to the FortiClient endpoint protection. So, like I mentioned earlier, endpoint protection from the FortiClient, it's being tested. It's being well certified by third party, and very importantly, later on you're going to see in the demo, FortiClient work very well with FortiGate, so you can use FortiGate or utilize FortiGate's features to automate the FortiClient detection that when he sees any endpoint has a problem, vulnerability, or has been compromised, the FortiGate can take action against the endpoints. And many of you may not even know FortiClient is free to download. I'll show you where to download from and how it works. It's basically you can download for free to install any platform that we just mentioned, and later on we talk about telemetry and also compliance. That's where the FortiClient license come to the place. So over here you can see that FortiClient's endpoint protection has been tested and certified by various third-party testing centers. They are well published, well populated. And one is the Virus Bulletin, and the other one is NSLab. Let me just quickly bring up those two so you can see what we're talking about, right? So this is a Virus Bulletin. They publish their articles, the testing centers, they do conference. So they do all kinds of testing for different endpoints. So Fortinet or FortiClient has been named as the VB100, which is a top of those endpoint protections softwares. And NSLab, they always do various different kinds of testing that's up to date and very advanced. And Fortinet always submit their testing to their testing center to be certified as one of their top softwares. So you can see that from the NSLab FortiClients, it's recommended by NSLab. And as you guys pretty much already know, a lot of email, a lot of malware, virus, or threats are mostly still coming from email, right? You can see this from this diagram picture. You can see that email is still 92.40% for all the malware coming in, and web, even though it's very popular, still a little bit low than email. We pretty much live and die by emails. And you can see from the frequency of the malware type, the JavaScript, the Visual Basic script is probably the most popular one that hackers will send in the threats. MicroOffice is always vulnerable for this. And lately, I've seen a lot of warning or threats coming from the PDF. The PDF sometimes, a lot of times we actually think it's pretty safe, but those hackers actually find a way to insert certain macros into the PDF, which cause a lot of threat. I think PDF threats probably will go up pretty soon. So FortiClient, we do by the NSLab testing, FortiClients, they protect email HP 100%, right? And they protect from the JavaScript, Visual Basic script, the Office documents, 100%. Any questions so far? I hope I don't bore you with all the slides, and hopefully we can jump right into the demo soon. The second thing we want to talk about is the VPN side, remote secure access. So FortiClients is built in as the VPN, IPsec VPN, just as any other security features in there. SSL VPN, IPsec VPN is well known and well popular for the industry. So everything's according to standard. And by using the FortiClient's SSL VPN and IPsec VPN, work with the FortiGate, it's a seamless and probably you can set up within 5 minutes. Everything is, if you just do default, everything is so integrated together. And also, there's user authentication. Later on, we'll see that in the demo. There's FortiGate and FortiClient using the different way or different method to do user authentication. On the FortiGate, you can set up a local user. You can use LDAP, radius server, or we can later on we will show you. I'll show you how to use the Forti token to do two-factor authentication. And also the SSO, which is a single sign-on. Basically, if you have LDAP, Active Directory integrated, then you can use single sign-on to keep the user secure, but also convenient, right? So there's a single sign-on.
Hey, David, let me jump in real quick. I see Russell Payne has his hand raised, but Russell, I apologize if I missed that, if that was from earlier. Did you have a question? Maybe, maybe not.
That's okay. Russell, if you have any question, you can go ahead and use Q&A. And then Dana is actually monitoring the Q&A. So anytime you have questions, just feel free to type it in. And if I can address the question right away, we will. We also have Fortinet people along with us, so they can also jump in to answer any question I may not know.
Okay, I think we're good. Thank you.
Thank you. So this is the VPN, secure remote access. So you can see that as a VPN, you can use just a local user or use an LDAP radius server to do authentication for VPN. And then you can also use two-factor authentication for VPN access if you want to. The two-factor authentication has okay, thank you. So you can see that the two-factor authentication, if you use a Forti token, there's a hard token, and I'll show you later. There's a hard token, or you can use a mobile token. Let me show you this real quick. So we go back to here, the token one. Yep, so this is a token. This is a one-time password token. Actually, you will see later in my demo, you will see I'm using one of the tokens, which is like a credit card one. I just press the button over here that will show me the one-time use code I can use, right? This is the Forti authenticator, and there's a Forti token. So there's a different Forti token you can use. There's a Forti token mobile, which is a Forti token mobile app you can put on the Android or iOS, right? And there's a Forti token cloud or anything. Okay. So just give you some understanding of what a Forti token is like, right? Which I think is very useful, right? So again, for the VPN, SSL VPN and IPsec VPNs, all based on industry standard. It's very compatible. So for the VPN on the FortiClient, you can do AutoConnect, and you can even do always on if you want to. We have in our company, we actually have a few salespeople. They always need to connect to VPN to access certain things in the corp resource. So they just set it up as always on, AutoConnect. So every time their laptop's on, they turn it on, and the VPN connect. They don't even need to bother or worry anything. And like I mentioned again and again, support both SSL VPN and IPsec VPN. And dynamic gateway selection is all from the FortiClient side and the FortiGate side, of course. So it could be the gateway could be dynamic, not a static IP address, but the FortiClient can still access it. And then we also support split tunneling. Depends on your company policy, right? Split tunneling could be a good thing to do, because that meaning that your remote user, they can access corp resource and also access internet by itself. But some company doesn't like split tunneling, so they disable split tunneling. Then all the internet access from the remote user, if they connect to the VPN, they have to access through the VPN to the internet. So two-factor authentication, we talked quite a few times already. We're gonna help you to understand how it works. And SSO, single sign-on, you can use a FortiGate Authenticator or you just use a FortiGate. Lastly, it's the bottom layer of the Fabric agent, which is probably the most important things for any Fortinet products and devices that you want to protect with. You definitely want to consider the security fabric, which will protect you from end to end. No, so Fabric enable endpoint security, basically meaning that from FortiClient point of view, right? They will feed and provide information to security fabrics back-end like FortiGuard, and also populate into the front end, such as the FortiGate and FortiSandbox, FortiGate Authenticator. They will help you to detect, prevent, and mitigate any vulnerability and also compromised endpoints. Now, the next thing is FortiClient EMS. If you have a large, what depends on how you define large, but large enterprise or large deployment of FortiClient, you might want to consider EMS, FortiClient EMS, which will help you to monitor, manage your FortiClient. And you can use FortiClient EMS to deploy, to populate your updates. You can also remotely access those FortiClient enabled endpoint to do different scanning, right? And this is a very, very useful tool, especially for if you have any large deployment of the FortiClient. So this, you can see that FortiClient is not just single endpoint, but it's really fully thought of and also developed a product. It's pretty mature and utilized by many enterprises. Now, you can see that the Fortinet has different products and different services that help you to protect. So from end, you have a FortiClient, and from the enterprise large deployment, you have enterprise, you have EMS, and then on the FortiGate side, you can well-rounded with security fabrics, right? The FortiGate has different models. You can go ahead, check it out later. I'll show you how to see those information, and then we can discuss anything you have in questions. This is the Fortinet resources. I just want to, just in case you don't know yet, I want to show you that. So there's a Fortinet.com. Of course, you can find any Fortinet technology and products in the Fortinet.com. You can find data sheets. And very importantly, I think everyone should have access to Partner Portal. So in the Partner Portal, there's a full of resources, information you should be able to utilize. And very importantly, to be honest with you, there's a price list. There's any promotion, sales promotion, and even some rewards you can get, incentive you can get, and all published in the Partner Portal. So even sometimes you miss any email, you should always go to the Partner Portal to look for those information. And then I'll show you the FortiClient, where you can download the FortiClient software from. And another thing is docs.fortinet.com, which has all the documentation, and you can even find a lot of video that show the Fortinet products, how they work. So let me bring up a couple things here. So there's a Partner Portal. You can go to Partner Portal, you go in there, and then if you don't have access, please talk to your sales rep to try to see if you can get access to it. And then you can see that number one thing here is SD-WAN's very hot topics, and you can download the SD-WAN report. And a couple of things I want to mention to you is last week we talked about, well, actually Wednesday, we talked about CTAB It's a cyber threat as in the program. If you're interested, definitely talk to us and we'll help you get more understanding. Or maybe next time we're going to have another CTAP webinar. You can join us. Another thing I want to show you guys is training, right? So in the partner portal, there's a training portal in there, and you can go in the training portal and try to, let me log in. Okay, this is training. So I think every one of you should consider either sales training or the more technical SE training, or even doing the professional training. So you can go into the training to do a lot of online training yourself. Right? There's plenty of resources in here. You definitely want to understand better, right? And then there's a document, the docs.fortinet.com. There's a full of information in here. I recommend that you go there and look it up. Now, this is the FortiClient download, right? So you can see that it's pretty much exists for all the platform nowadays in almost all the endpoints, right? So my machine is a Windows, so later I'll show you how to work. So you just click on download and it will download the software for you. And you can see that each box, it tells you what features each platform has, right? And then like iOS, like Android, right? They tell you what each has. And very importantly, all of them has a VPN access, meaning that you can use your mobile device to access your corporate network resource if allowed to, right? Any questions so far? Right, if not, I'm going to show you, first of all, I'm going to show you the FortiClient installation, right? So let me bring this up. I already installed the FortiClients, so I'm not going to do that again, but this is a FortiClient installations, right? So you just go ahead and run it. After you download it, you go ahead and run it, right? So so we're gonna just run it. Let me hold on a second. Let me show you this. It could take a few minutes. Let's see how fast it can be. Okay, just bear with me for a moment because I need to unpack the software, download the software. What I want to show you is during the installation, you will have a selection of what package you want to install. Many of us probably just select them all, but Fortinet does very friendly, very nice to give you an option. Say, hey, if you already have some endpoint software installed on your machines, what you can do is just go ahead if you would just want a VPN part of it, right? So this is Setup Wizard, right? So I'm gonna do this repair. Oh shoot. Let me see, repair. Would it give me an option? I hope so. I'm gonna cancel it. Sorry about that. I thought it would give me the option. But anyway, sorry about that. But during this installation, will give you an option if you want to install all the antivirus, web filtering, all the security features, or you only want to have a secure remote access, which is the VPN part, right? So I'm gonna show you this. So I'm gonna bring up the FortiClient. Let me do this. So I'm going to do the demo, and this is all the contact information. So I'm going to bring you the FortiClient. So this is this is a FortiClient, full feature FortiClient. I already installed, I already enabled everything. And the first thing you want to check is compliance telemetry, right? So that means you want to connect to the FortiGate, right? You want to connect to FortiGate, right? So this is the part is connected to FortiGate. So I already have connection to the FortiGate, and meaning that I'll send those information, threat information to the FortiGate and sandbox if I want to. So the first thing is, you can go through those security features that are built into the FortiClient. There's antivirus protections, right? And there's anti-exploit, sandbox detection, and also remove media access if there's a compromise vulnerability happens. And you can do your, let's say, personal or endpoints own web filtering if you want to, right? This can be all this can be changed. The trick is here. You need to unlock the setting. You need to unlock the setting. It will prompt you for admin access. All you need to just enter admin access, then you can unlock it. Once you unlock it, you can change the information here. You can change all the setting here if you want to. Everybody see that, right? Okay, so I just want to show you that. So this is web filtering. You can go in there, you can change each individual ones if you want to, right? So you can change to allow or block, whatever that is, right? And then vulnerability testing, right? So you can just scan your vulnerability on your endpoint if you haven't scheduled anything yet. You can schedule it, then you can do, or can do a real-time scan right away, right? And there's a notification, right? Pretty much is a log, and then there's a different setting. So you can see that, oh, here you go. So basically, you can see that over here that you can back out a configuration. If you install, you can put it back. And then log in, you can see that I'm logging everything, right? And VPN and advanced. All this is very straightforward, very self-explanatory. So I don't think I need to bore you guys with this, but just want to give you understanding how it works, right? There's a remote access. I'll show you how it works. So this remote access, basically you can create your own if you want to. So you can add a new connections, just like this. Of course, this need to be, once this is set up, you cannot connect it because you need to go to FortiGate to set up too. So in the meantime, let me bring up the FortiGate. Okay, this is the FortiGate. Right, so I'm gonna show you VPN side of it. So on the FortiGate side, I mean, hopefully you guys have some understanding how FortiGate works. But if not, it's okay. We later we have another TGIF. I'm gonna probably only talk about FortiGate itself, not just FortiGate VPN, of course, but a lot of different things within the FortiGate or the new feature in the 6.0 that you should definitely look into, right? So this is SSL VPN setting, right? So I already talked about the one thing I do want to point out is there's a listen to which port. I don't want to use a 443. Default is 443, so I come up with a 10443, just kind of away from the 443. That's more like a known port for SSL, right? So that's a FortiGate side. I'm not going to show you much about this, but that's how you're going to set up a FortiGate side to set up either IPsec or SSL VPN side, right? And there's IPsec tunnels, right? So you can use IPsec, or IPsec is very easy on the FortiGate too. So you can see that if I create this, it's a VPN setup. You can say this is remote access. Then just follow the on-screen instruction. And it's very easy to use, right? Now, let me go back to the FortiClients. So FortiClients over here, if I already have SSL VPN set up, if I already have IPsec VPN set up on the FortiGate side, then I can just easily to put those information in. So what I'm going to show you today is SSL VPN. You can see that I just put in the connection name, this name, whatever you pick, it doesn't matter. And the remote gateway is the FortiGate one interface that you want to connect to, right? So you can add more if you want to. So, and then you can see that just earlier I showed you on the FortiGate side, I use the port 10443. It's the default 443. So I use 10443 over here. I can either pick prompt me to log in, or I say save login. Once I save login, next time they will just ask me. They will just ask me the password, right? So today I want to show you just a prompt login. This is for more secure reason, right? So this is how it's set up on the client side. Very simple, very straightforward. There's no other complication in there. As long as you use a default setting, you can just follow the instruction step by step to set it up. So another thing I want to talk to you about is, so I'm going to go back to this FortiGate. By the way, stop me anytime if you guys have any question, because I'm not sure how familiar you guys are with the FortiGate and the FortiClient. So if too complicated, if I'm too fast, let me know, stop me right away, okay? So today I'm going to show you two users, right? One is David Yang here. So I already have the password set up. This is a local user you can see, right? And then I've set up my own password. I joined a group. This is a VPN group, so I put it in there. Again, this is our FortiGate site. So this is the thing I'm going to use. So this is David Yang. I'm going to use the other one. I'm going to use is token. So this is a token, right? You can see that this is token setup. I enable this, and I want to send me the SMS. And the most important thing is there's a two-factor authenticator. So I pick a token. By the way, just want to let you guys know, for the VPN side, FortiGate it gave you 2 Forti token for free. So any FortiGate you have, or any FortiGate you buy, the brand new one, you should come with 2 mobile token in there, right? So those are free. I just want to give you some variety, show you I'm using a hard token, which is the like credit card like or business card like token that I showed you earlier. So this is the one I'm using, token. All right. So that one is, the username is EXNTN66. So the first one I'm going to show you is just use a local user database on the FortiGate. So it's David Yang. I hope I remember my password. I'm not going to save password, but like I mentioned to you earlier, if you have a VPN, you want to save password, you can just click here. It will save it, but I'm not going to save right now. So just say connect. Yeah, when you see like 90%, 98%, that means it's almost there. So it got a connection. So I'm going to move this away. Let me show you this. So the monitor, SLM monitor, boom. Oh, there's another user already in. So cool. So this is the one, right? This, I just log in, David Yang. You can see that, right? Okay.
Hey, David, we got a really quick question.
Sure, go ahead.
From Garrett. He's wondering, can you purchase more of the tokens?
Absolutely, absolutely. You definitely can talk to your salespeople, and there's again, like I mentioned to you, there's different token. There's a Forti token mobile, or Forti token or hardware Forti token, which is the business card like, or the, let me show you this, or the, or the there's a Forti token mobile, or the hardware like mobile token like this. There's another one, 300s. Let me see. Forti token 300. Yeah, USB key, right? Just different type of Forti token you can purchase. Yes.
And also, Ivan has a question along the same lines.
Sure.
How do you use the Forti token if you connect to many FortiGates? So can one token be associated with multiple FortiGates?
That's a good question. I don't believe so, but Christian, if you know, or Mary, if you know, let us know. I don't think so. I think one token can be only tied into one FortiGate. I believe so. Because once you, let me show you this. Once you...
oh, Christian actually helped us with that. He says that unfortunately not, it's just for one FortiGate.
Yeah, because
each
Forti token is actually need to be assigned or designated to each FortiGate. Okay. But something you can consider though, if you have multiple FortiGate, right, and you have a multiple Forti token, you should use FortiAuthenticator. I hope that's a good solution for you, because FortiAuthenticator will be authenticate those Forti token and publish to the FortiGate you want access to. Does that make sense?
And I was going to second that, David. That's exactly right. So if you were to use a FortiAuthenticator, you could have those tokens assigned to that user, and then that's kind of your radius server to multiple servers, multiple FortiGates, multiple different products.
Yes.
Just like an RSA replacement. So.
Yep.
Yep.
See, I'm talking the right thing because Fortinet agree with me. All right, so let me get back to the FortiClient. Oh, hold on a second. Let me go back to the FortiClient. Okay, now, so I'm going to disconnect from here. Okay, now this time I'm going to use Forti token. Okay, so my username is EXNTN66. And the password, I'm not going to tell you guys. Well, I can tell you guys because you guys doesn't have the Forti token. So I get connect. Oops. Sorry. Hold on a second. Oh, shoot. I typed in the wrong username. Sorry about that. And disconnect right now. Yeah, you need to go through authentication. Couldn't figure out where to find this. Okay. So, TNT, let me see, let me double check my username. TNTN, okay. It'll be, say, okay, so let me press this 945969. 45969. And then okay. So I'm using Forti token, right? If you look at the username, EXNTN66, that's my username. So I'm going to look at this, SLVPN, boom, this one. And this one, if I look at the user again, that's my Forti token user. I hope everybody can see that. No, this is secure access. Now I have no problem at all. Now let me go back to this again, right? So I want to go back to FortiClient. So go back to this. So I'm going to show you here, right? So in the Security Fabric, I'm going to show you this. There's automation, right? So one thing I want to show you too. So on the FortiGate side, remember I said telemetry. So I want to have my FortiClient be a telemetry client site. And one thing you definitely need to do on the FortiGate side is you want to enable or activate this Forti telemetry in order to take effect, right? Once you have done that, right? Once you have done that, you can go to Security Fabric and do the automation part, right? So the FortiGate in this case, right? So because the FortiClient endpoints connect to my FortiGate, so in the automation side will probably, I can set up any policy I want. So basically, I say I want a security rating summary, or I want to email to me, right? And then I also can select this, right? So compromise host, right? I can do IP ban if I want to, meaning that if there's a reporting from FortiClient telemetry to the FortiGate saying, hey, this device has been compromised or has a problem, the FortiGate can ban this IP or whatever the endpoint is, ban the endpoint IP address to going anywhere. So basically just block to the access, right? Depends how your FortiGate is set up. The FortiGate setup, you can have a segmentation meaning that different departments or even different group on the FortiGate side, you can set it up so that endpoint cannot even go anywhere else, right? Depends on how you set it up. You can, the broader size, they cannot go to the internet. But within your network, if you want to do some segmentation, you can even block that IP from their own group or department, depending on segmentation, right? So that's one thing, right? So I'm not going to spend yet. So from here, then you can go to FortiView, all right, and you can actually look at endpoint vulnerabilities. So in this endpoint vulnerability, it would give you what's going on with all those devices, which endpoint that tied into this FortiGate. Remember the FortiGate will show you. So this is actually tied into this FortiGate, and no, so this is the FortiGate I'm accessing, right? So it's tied into this FortiClient is tied into this particular FortiGate. So this is the information that will show you what's going on with each of the FortiClients. So you can see this one actually has quite a few things going on, vulnerability going on in there, right? So this is the VPN, how the VPN usage been going on in this. Not much going on here. All right, so this is how it works. FortiClient, of course, this is not a whole thing, everything about FortiClient, right? And it's not everything about FortiGate, how FortiGate work with the FortiClient. But hopefully I give you some basic understanding how FortiClient works, especially on the secure remote access side, and some information about how FortiClient endpoint tied into the FortiGate, how to process those detection, and how they work. Definitely not a full story, and you feel free to go to the resource that I mentioned to you and check it out, as well as if you have any questions. We have Exclusive here, we have Fortinet here. Hopefully we both agree. No, we can definitely help you with everything that you need. Any questions so far, or anything you guys want to discuss?
Actually, I think we have a couple questions that would be really beneficial to address to everyone in attendance. One of them was, let me find it here. It was a really good question. How does the SSO with the FCT work with the FortiGate Authenticator?
Yeah, so it's the same thing, right? FortiGate Authenticator is acting as authentication agent or service. So if you have Active Directory or any other things, then you can use FortiGate Authenticator to integrate with your Active Directory, and you can use that for single sign-on. Anything you want to add, Christian, or any correction you want to make?
No, that's good. Yeah, you could certainly, use FortiClient in conjunction with FortiAuthenticator, and of course, FortiAuthenticator fully supports the Forti tokens. So, if you're wanting to integrate a full two-factor auth throughout your network, you guys can certainly look at our FortiAuthenticator product, and that can send over credentials. It can pretty much work as a single sign-on throughout your whole network. So. Yeah, great features there.
Cool.
Any questions from anybody else? Going once, going twice? Well, thank you so much for everyone who's attended. We did record this session. I got a lot of questions about that, so I'm going to be sending out a link. Also, I'm going to be sending out the deck of today's presentation from David, so you guys can take your time to really flip through it. Please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We have our contact information on the screen now, so feel free to capture that, and we're happy to field any questions and to connect you to the right people. If there's nothing else, I have just a little questionnaire that I'm launching right now. We would really love to get your feedback on your thoughts on today's content, how it's covered, what would you like to see for future topics to be covered as well, so we can really tailor our content based on what you're really hoping and to get out of these sessions that you spend with us. But if there are not any questions, I'm going to stay on for just a couple minutes as people exit. So feel free to pipe up or just type a question in the chat. We're more than happy to help you out. Thank you so much, everybody, for your time. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next Friday.